Happiness is a rare and elusive mood, a strangely unattainable quality that we seek so desperately, so often these days. But it's so hard to attain on purpose, impossible really. We have so many stimuli, it's hard to screen them out so that we alone can be pleased with ourselves in the world and pleased with the world around us without setting up all sorts of false demands on the world and on ourselves. When I look back on my life and try to think of the times when I was most distinctly and definitively happy, I go back now and often to a time when I was maybe 12 years old in Ithaca, New York, a young boy, thin, wiry, stretching to understand things in the world. And I would get restless late at night in our house at 118 North Sunset Drive in Cayuga Heights in Ithaca. 2, 3 in the morning. I wouldn't be able to sleep. I'd be down in my downstairs room, the lights still on, having read or daydreamed the first part of the night away. And a restlessness would overtake me, and several times, 3, 4, 5 times, all in that 1 or 2 year period, usually in the springtime or the fall, always a school night. I would walk from our house. I wouldn't steal away on tiptoe. The rest of my family was asleep. I didn't have to worry about them. The front door wasn't locked, and I wouldn't lock it when I left. I was always barefoot when I did this, and I'd be wearing shorts and a t-shirt, nothing more, just simplicity, me and my feet. And I would run down the street, down North Sunset Drive, first to the east, and then up Devon Road to Cayuga Heights Road, and then east again on Cayuga Heights Road, and at that point there was a sidewalk. On North Sunset Drive there was no sidewalk, but it didn't matter. The world was empty and full at the same time. There was no traffic. There were no dogs chasing me, no dogs barking at me. The dogs were all inside, asleep with the people. There were no people where I went running those nights. Only me in the nighttime. I'd follow Cayuga Heights Road, twisting sideways in curves, going up and down a little bit as it traversed the hill across to the Cornell campus. To get to the campus, I would run across the long suspension bridge over the Fall Creek Gorge, a deep, deep gorge with the water roaring far below, the moonlight slanting down. It didn't have to be a full moon night for it to be food for all my senses as I padded along the asphalt or the sidewalk concrete, or crossing the Cornell quadrangle, the grass spiky beneath my bare feet. I wasn't jogging. I wasn't going that slowly. I was running. I was up on the balls of my feet. But I wasn't sprinting either. For miles and miles as a youth of 12, through the Cornell campus, deserted also that hour of the night. It seems highly unlikely now, looking back, and yet it was true. Each time I did this, the world was solitary. There was no one out and about, no prowling police cars to pull over and shine a bright light on me and ask, "Young boy, where are you running at this hour of the night? Why are you not home, sleeping, preparing yourself for tomorrow's school?" I didn't want anyone to come across me, and no one did. A kind of enchantment of solitude in the world. I saw no one saw me. I was not invisible. I knew I was quite distinct out in the world. I wasn't silent. There was the pat, pat, pat of my footsteps through the night. I listened to the breeze in the trees as I went, felt the sway of the leaves above me, and I felt my own steady rhythm, strong in the night. I felt a kind of young, supple strength I've never felt again, a kind of flexibility like a young plant able to bend back in the breeze, healthy, out in the world. I'd follow Stewart Avenue down into College Town, deserted, empty, all the lights out inside, all the people presumably asleep. No pale blue glows from TV sets, all the TV sets turned off. I alone out in the world. Down the steep hill on Buffalo Street into the town of Ithaca, I would run. It would be awkward for an adult to run downhill that way, barefoot. But not for me then. There was no awkwardness. I would slow down as I was going downhill, but I made my way easily, and I would run up this street and across that one through the empty town, and then back, mile after mile. This would be 6, 7, 8 miles I would cover without stopping, without speeding up, without haste or fretting or worry or any deadline of some time I had to get back home, because no one knew I was gone. There was no consciousness on my part or anyone else's that I was out of place. I was where I should be that night. Now, after the first night, I knew that the next day in school, my muscles would be very sore and stiff and would protest that I'd been a fool to be running all those miles and miles the night before. What had I been thinking? Why had I done such a thing? But I would think that the next day with great pleasure and satisfaction as I hobbled around Boynton Junior High, not telling anyone what I had done the night before, never telling my family, never telling a soul, only recalling it to myself. The long run up the hill then, from the flats of Ithaca, up Renwick, that did its multiple elbows going up the hill, and finally back down North Sunset Drive towards my family's house. Still the middle of the night, still dark, the street lights and me, no dogs barking. Back home. In the door, pull the front door shut behind me, gently, a final, pronounced click as it closed, and then down the stairs to my bedroom, and to a easy, dreamless sleep.